Oh. This thing, I'm being told, is 350 horsepower. So what's the story with the shell? How'd you end up with this? I don't know what he's going to do. We'll see how he sorts this issue. So welcome back to another video. We are down at SSA Performance. We are with a friend of mine, Connor, to put his massive power Mark III Astra on the dyno, getting it set up for this year's season for the front wheel drive drag racing. But as I've turned up, as you can see in the background, this looks like it's starlet's heaven. So before Connor turns up, because I am a little bit early, let's have a quick look round. Let's have a look at some of these cars.
We've teamed up with Pulsar Turbos to do a giveaway. Head over to our Instagram to enter for free right now.
But just outside, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's another one back there. 6, 7, 8. There is starlets everywhere. These boys look like this is their main business, is tuning and developing starlets. This thing, I'm being told, is 350 horsepower in for, I think, a wheel bearing. You've got a lovely Nissan Pulsar. This is obviously the dyno cell where we'll be this afternoon. Really nice little classic mini, but Pulsar looks like it's in for being restored. Don't see many of these anymore. Red are super rare in Pulsars. Back in the very early days, everyone would use this plenum for making their own inlet systems. Also, thing to point out, which is quite rare on a Pulsar engine, is these were individual throttle bodies. So I remember back in the day when ECU technology wasn't very good, they were very hard to map because of that reason. We're ready to get on here. Connor's on his way, hoping to make some big numbers. Fingers crossed we'll have a successful afternoon. Give you a brief rundown. Obviously it's a rare girl anyway, being the saloon Mark III Astra. Got a bit of a soft spot for this, brings back a bit of nostalgia. This now is a bone stock Saab engine, not even opened. It's not had springs, it's not had anything done. Been out of a scrapyard car, cut out, put in here. So I'm interested to see what these things can do stock. But it's on a full Crankworks manifold. He's done all the fab work on it. It's on a Turbo Smart 45 Hypergate charge cooler, 2200cc injectors, GTX 351050 turbo, fuel tanks here, twin pumped, and this is now a charge cooler which is now ice driven, which is inside the car. So he's open for 600. I don't know much about the Saabs. I have heard they suffer from valve float quite often, and they put something like Volvo springs in. So this would be interesting to see where we find the limits today. There's the Pigeon that you'll have seen if you watched another video on Grant's car. We'll get around to Grant in the future to go and see his Saab. So inside, it's on a full Maxxis ECU. So diving in, you've just got the aluminium Kirky seat. You've got the ice box there. Obviously an external water pump to pump the ice water round. The switches, there is nothing much more to really say. It has a half cage. I'm looking forward to today to see what this makes, because, and I've said it a million times, as much as I'm not a Saab fan, they make outstanding power for being bone stock. So fingers crossed it'll make it. Anyone who remembers the Max Power era, this is the Riger kit. It's had wide arches to help the guys out. Obviously, always a team player, always want to help everyone. He messaged me late on saying, do we have any 16-inch wheels? And luckily I had some spare 16-inch Vauxhall Astra wheels with brand new tyres, because the wheels that are on, basically the car bottoms out on the dyno. He can use and abuse them. If he gets the day done, that's all that matters. So what's the story with the shell? How'd you end up with this?
I had a black SRI Mark IV. That's what really got me into like the bug of doing drag racing. Just always something I've ever wanted to do. I had my black Mark IV as a road car, and I used to get myself in trouble in it. But then I done door slammers in it.
Right.
And then I thought, you know what, my license, my livelihood in it, right?
Yep.
Transporting the cars. So I thought, what's the cheapest and easiest thing I can build into a drag car? The lad popped up to me with this.
Because it's a rare thing, this, you know.
Yeah, I'll tell you the story where it first come from in a minute. The lad popped up with this slide. He says, do you want a swap? I says, tell you what, give us $1,000 and I'll come and do the deal with you.
Yeah.
So first thing I done, I had the Grand, took the car straight to SW, had the roll bar in. Standard manifold that was on it that Darren done back in the day.
So was it already a Saab when you bought it? Oh, right, okay, right.
We already had a tubular manifold off Darren on it.
Right,
and I had an HX35 in the shed. So
right.
I just banged that on. Rag done a bit of fab work for me. Sean, what did it make? 498 on a Saab ECU, didn't it? Put the max on it. It done 518, but it was a complete different car with on the max ECU.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Darren found this car years ago in down London.
Did he?
It for Bush, yeah. When we converted it. He sold it for about 6
wild.
grand.
You don't see them. I know of one other, and I put a 2-litre X20 XEV in it years and years ago, and you don't see them with the boots. Yeah. You don't see them.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Rare, isn't they?
That's what's wild.
Even
I love
like,
it.
do you remember the door standards and the 30 and 20 lads?
Yeah.
They loved it. Loaded on the dyno, got some heat in it, they've put the E98 fuel in it. Now, me trying to learn again a little bit more and all doing this is we looked at the stoichiometric value for E98. So what that means is it's basically the optimal burn rate of the fuel. Normal fuel's like 14.4-ish, and then obviously the more race fuel you go, the more that changes. Now with E98, quick look online, stoichiometric is 9:1. That doesn't mean on hard boost. Hard boost obviously needs to put some more fuel in it to cool it, etc, etc. But what we're kind of finding now is normal sensors on a wideband will not go to that range. It goes out of range. So that's where we're at the moment. He's seeing that. I think the sensor won't go enough. It will go down to 9s possibly. I think that's as much as we're seeing on the sensor. But he's having a look now, having some changes, see if we can double check with the lambda sensor on the dyno to see if we can get it somewhere near, see if we can get it tuned. Because I don't know if it's true, but I only know when I'm at Chris's, he has to use a specific sensor which will go a lot more richer, because I know like methanol based fuels is into the 6s from memory. I don't know whether I don't know what he's gonna do, what his thoughts are. We'll see how he sorts this issue, but it'd be interesting to find out because I've never seen a car mapped on E98. So we think we might have figured it out. What he's done is he's used an Innovate handheld wideband, which can be set for ethanol-based fuels. So he's adjusted it, and for the time being, it's looking like the Innovate is working with the ethanol, and we can get the AFR readings we need. But obviously now we decided, we've obviously talking through the guy who's mapping the car, we're doing lambda. Makes life easier. Lambda's easier, and the AFR gauge will give him the lambda reading he needs. So to put that in perspective, you have air fuel ratio and you have lambda. Lambda's very easy because lambda is the same across the board no matter what fuel it is. You kind of map to that number, where AFRs, there's all sorts of different settings you've got to change, as in different readings. So to explain that is, with petrol, 14.4 stoichiometric. With ethanol based, it's like 9. Well, on this one it isn't, it's E98. So you've got to remember the numbers, you've got to adjust that. If you map by lambda, it certainly makes life easier on the mapper. So they've just blown a boost pipe off. We're going to go again, and fingers crossed we can start making some power. Just revving it to 5.5 on steady state, and basically hearing a misfire, seeing a misfire. So just changing the flows, gapping them down, and hopefully that'll sort the issue. That's what we're up to. We stopped it now at 5.5. We haven't done a power run yet. That will come shortly. make a full power run. I think we're at 580-ish. What we think is potentially lifted the cylinder head because the cap on the water bottle has come up and sprayed the windscreen. So we're literally gonna let it cool down and see what happens. I don't know if they'll be able to do anything more, but it looks like this has lifted the head. Not even creeping up on it in boost, really, to be fair.
Scared.
Oh,
Oh,
the anticipation's getting to you.
Paint couple. There's still pressure on the pipes. Yeah, there's still pressure on the pipes. Feel it?
you move the cap?
He has moved it, yeah.
Careful, man.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
That's it, leave it at that, man. Leave it at that for a bit.
Bit more.
Got to be dead gas, yeah, you press it up like that. The rain on cooling till it rolls forward. It was just a spurt. I thought it would have wanted to do like.
So that's going to be us calling it a day. Car's still running. It has lifted the head because we did basically a power run on gate pressure, basically to see what would happen. Needs the gasket sorting out, and we've run out of fuel. These lads are still new to race fuel because they normally use the pump fuel, so they don't know how much fuel they're going to need. So we have run out. In essence, 560, still a load of cleaning up of the fuel map to do, still a load of ignition timing to put in. The only thing we did see was there was a potential of a massive amount of boost creep. When supposedly it's got a 1 bar spring, we turned the duty right down and saw 2.2 bar. Now we don't know whether that's boost controller, we don't know whether that's boost creep. We haven't had time to really look at that. Connor's going to literally take it back, pull the head off, put a gasket in, put his springs in because they do suffer from valve float, these things, get a load more fuel and come back. I'm telling you, this will make high 600s, possibly even tip into the 7s from what we're seeing, because at 570 only revving to 5,500 RPM, still a load of fuel to pull out because it's rich as anything up top. This thing should make some big power. We'll sound this one off and I'll see us all on the next video.